I'm talking about the culture. And when I talk to people about negotiating, which I do a lot, the first thing I always tell people is the first thing you should do is let's talk about what we agree on. If we're on two sides of a table like this and we're negotiating, let's talk about what we agree on first. Because, if you really spend time to do that, you're sometimes surprised at how little you really disagree on.
Right. I find that all the time.
Yeah. If you get the left and the right and talk about what we agree on, everybody would agree we want America to be the number one country in the world. We want to be the leading superpower, the leading educational power, the leading in technology, everything, right? Everybody would agree to that. If we want to be the healthiest country, we want to be the best leaders, we want to be, everybody would agree on that. Everybody would agree we want our children to have a better life than we have. Everybody would agree that we want safety for our kids. We want advances in medicine, and there's so many things we can agree on. And then when we say, let's talk about what we don't agree on, the next step you'd say is, how can I get the other side as much of what they want as I possibly can? That should be the second thing you should focus on, because oftentimes you find we have different currencies. You might value different things than I do, so I might be able to give you everything you want. It's not likely to happen, but there's a lot I can give you because you value different things than I do, and I value different things than you do. We might be able to really help each other get what we want, and it narrows down to very little sometimes that we really disagree on and have to compromise on. But you can't do that if you're really focused on winning an argument and being a right fighter instead of saying, let's solve the problem. We can't come out of this room till we solve the problem. And it's hard to do that if you're kind of agreeing just with what your side beats the drum on versus this side beats the drum on, instead of being commonsensical and saying, how do we solve this problem?
Yeah, I think very few people are able to argue without attaching themselves to ideas. So if their idea, when they have an argument about something, if you say something that they agree with, instead of accepting that you say something they agree with, they want to fight against it because they just want to be right. Very few people are good at ideas being discussed in arguments because the argument becomes very personal. Like, they think about their own self-worth and they attach it to being the winner of the argument. They want to use ad hominem attacks, insults, and trying to figure out a way to verbally joust with you to the point where they're successful.
When people start assassinating character, it's because their ideas won't withstand challenge. This cancel culture bullshit, cancel culture should be counsel culture. If you say something that's offensive to my values, I should counsel with you about it, not cancel you, not get everybody to hate you. You see somebody that says something on Twitter or says something in an interview that is offensive to some group, and all of a sudden you start reading the messages they get. It's like, I hope you get ass cancer and die, you son of a bitch. I'll cut your throat. I'll come to your house and kill your children. Are you kidding me? It's like, boycott this person, boycott this company. Where did we get to this? Now they're canceling each other. It should be counsel culture, not cancel culture. Let's sit down and talk about it. Let me educate you. Maybe you don't understand. Maybe when you do, you won't agree, but let's talk about this.
I think it's social media. I think it's echo chambers. I think it's people having the ability to discuss things without any social interaction. They're not looking at each other. They're not feeling the other person's emotions and feelings. They're not looking into their eyes. It's a very inhumane way for people to communicate. It's very sterilized, and you can assassinate a person's character or attack them or say horrible, insulting, and threatening things, and you don't feel any response.
Well, how many things do people type that they would not say to you in an elevator?
Yeah.
They had, like you said, they look you in the eye, or they were in an elevator. Same thing with road rage.
Yeah.
People blow the horn, yell stuff. They wouldn't say that to you if you step in front of them on an escalator.
Right.
they wouldn't say, "You rat bastard,"
Right.
but they'll say it because they don't have to own it.
Right.
And so many of these people that jump on the bandwagon, they don't even know what they're talking about. They just see somebody jumping on somebody's ass. They go, "Hey, this is great. This will be fun."
Pile on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't even know what they're talking about. And people's lives get ruined. And that's not solving a problem. That's just being a keyboard bully. And that's a terrible misuse of social media. It's terrible misuse of the internet. And if you would counsel instead of cancel, we could really make some progress.